Oh, lovely beer. Oh, I really like my Tamiya dump truck, and I really like my Tamiya Kong head, but if only there was a truck that combined the best aspects of both of these trucks. Blimey. Hi everyone, it's Pete here. So look what I've got. It's the Tamiya Volvo A60H Hauler 6x6 kit. So there's a bit of a story behind this. It's been donated to the channel by a very kind man who is known elsewhere as the RC Elf. So RC Elf, if you're watching this, thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy building this. Let's have a little look around the box. Okay, so I've got Mark and Rob helping me out.
Hi guys.
Hiya.
Pleased to be here, Rob.
No.
Mark.
I'm glad you're here, Rob.
Okay, let's move on. So the front of the box is a photo of the completed kit rather than artwork like you get on one of the vintage kits. And yeah, it looks very nice. At least with the photo you get a realistic sort of view of what it's going to look like when you've finished. So the Elf did give me a choice of which kit to get, and I've had my eye on this one since it came out. I think it was a year or so ago, and yeah, I just really like the looks of this. I like the fact it's based on a real truck, although Tamiya have sort of taken a bit of liberty with the shape and size of it a bit, and the monster truck tyres. The real one's actually articulated at the front here, but say Tamiya have made it into this sort of basher truck, and yeah, I just really like the look of it, and I always like running my Kong head, so I know I'm going to have fun with this one. So you've got a sticker up here talking about the four-wheel steering there, saying it requires a transmitter with four-wheel steering mixing function, but all it did on the Kong head was to use a Y splitter cable with the servo and just have two servos running from the same port of the receiver. So that saved a bit of cash. So do you like that, chaps?
Brilliant, I like the look of that.
Yeah.
So on the side of the box you've got the little depiction of the gearbox there, and then the little graphic showing you can go at 40-degree inclines. So then you've got a picture of the truck with the cab taken off, so you can see the insides, and you can see how the tipper is the battery cover there. So the bumper on this one's different to the Kong head. It's got this sort of shaped one that sort of becomes part of the cab. And I noticed there's an extra bit there which hopefully will brace it against the chassis. I'm not sure if that's actually attached or not, but hopefully that'll add a bit of strength to it. So on the other side they've got the picture of the completed cab, which is painted and trimmed, so that's a big bonus if you don't like painting things, because that will save you a lot of time, and Tamiya will have done a good job on that. And then they're just showing you some of the hop-ups that you might want to put on this. So let's get it open. Okay, so we'll do the plastic bits first, and I'll do the parts bags in a minute, and do the bits that are specific to this kit first of all. So let's have a look at this lovely pre-painted cab. Now check that out, that's really nice, isn't it? So that saved quite a lot of effort and time to do that, and they've done a really nice job of it, and I've held it up to the light and it's very opaque. What do you reckon to that, guys?
I do like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you call this bit, Mark?
Dump.
Bucket.
Alright, okay, so this one is different to the one on the dump truck. It's a little bit longer, but it's made out of this very rigid plastic. Right, so this is also specific to this kit. So you've got the bumper there, which is kind of shaped so it fits in with the cab. That sort of fits on there like that, so I can't really do a mod like I did with the Kong head to put a lunchbox bumper on. So I'm hoping this bumper will last. When I saw the photos of this truck, I thought that this bit actually attached to the chassis, but it just looks like a bumper against the chassis. I wonder if there's a way of actually attaching it, because I'm a bit worried that it might come detached like the Kong head one did, but I guess I'll have to see in practice how that goes. So these bits are part of the lifter for the bed, I think. And I think that's what holds the bed up. I shall find out in due course. I think that's the top of the bumper there. So I think the rest of this is generic to the other six-wheel drive cars, and also some of the bits are the same as the four-wheel drive ones. So you get wheels and tyres here, so you've got the yellow wheels, it's the same wheels as on the dump truck, and the tyres are lunchbox ones rather than the spikes ones that you got with the dump truck. I'm not sure why that is, but what's got to be done is sniff the tyres, guys. Sniff the tyres. Do you want to go on that, guys?
Oh.
Oh, it's a great smell, isn't it? What does it remind you of?
Bottoms.
You like that, don't you? So B parts, is sort of hubs and servo saver bits. So there's another one of those. So these are the C parts, so you get your back bumper and suspension arms and stuff like that. So you got 4 of them the same. So this bit's the battery cover on the Kong head, and the GFO one, it doesn't look like you need that on this one because the tipper thing actually covers the battery, and other than that it's sort of steering bits and your hexes. So you get your bumper, which isn't standard on this truck, and also the wheelie bar. I'm not sure if that's standard on this truck, but they've given you this part tree, so I guess it is. Other than that, you've just got some damper spacers. So on this tree you've got these sidebars, and they're not sort of standard on these six-wheel drive ones, but they will fit. I need to check on this one whether they'll fit with the tipper and everything, but other than that you've got that which holds the front bumper on and the smaller front bumper. So you get your 2 halves of the chassis, which is also the gearbox, and it's made out of very hard plastic. What do you reckon, Mark?
That is rather rigid, Rob.
Yeah.
It's quite a stiff one, that.
Okay, next lot of stuff. So you've got the instructions, and what's good about these is they're specific to this model. They're not just generic G601 instructions with a separate pamphlet for the body. Just have a quick look. Should be very similar to the Kong head instructions apart from the body. So yeah, you've got your differences with your tipper there. So the tipper does act to sort of keep the battery in, so that's really clever, I think. And you've got your body here, so you've got some stickers to go on that. And they go on about the four-wheel steering option. I'm sort of wondering whether to leave the four-wheel steering option off this to start with, just to see how it is, because I've never really tried that with the Kong head. So it might just be interesting to see how it goes with the two-wheel steer, and I can put the four-wheel steer back on it later. So we've got a few stickers, not too many on this one. So we've got all the parts bags. I always like to just start randomly. I'll start here, shall I, Rob?
No.
Oh no, we better start with bag A.
Yeah.
So bag A, got your grease, the shafts for the gears, you've got your differential bits in there, and B, U-shaped shaft that holds the suspension in, steering bits, drive shafts, etc. C, you got your suspension springs and your bumper springs and various rod ends and screws and whatnot. So this is unlabelled, but it's kind of, you can see there's sort of kingpins and screws and rod ends and gears, lots and lots of gears on this and more there. So you just get your standard 540 motor in this one. So they give you this battery extension cable on this one. I'm not sure why, but it won't be very helpful to me because I'm going to be using a LiPo which has got a different plug on it. So you've got here your rubbish bushings, but I'm going to be using these metal bearings, quite a lot of those. So not in the kit, but what I'm going to be using are the mini shocks here. So this is the set where you get 4 mini shocks, but you don't get springs with this set. You can use the ones from the kit, but I found them to be a bit too bouncy when I had them on the Kong head and on the GF01. So what I'm going to use instead is these Tamiya slightly softer springs. It still seems to be better value to get the 4 without the springs, even if you need to buy these, because these are pretty cheap. So I've got another 4 there, so I'm going to end up with 2 spare ones, which I know that I can use. So I've got my go-to brushless set here. So this has been in most of my RC cars. It's a bit different to the one I got in the Kong head, but I expect a sort of similar kind of performance. And with this, the Kong head went 20 miles an hour, which still isn't all that fast, but I think out of the box with the silver can, it only goes about sort of maybe 11 miles an hour. So I think this is one that does need a bit of a boost in power. So I'm going to be using that and 2S LiPo. And then I'm using this servo, and probably I will go to the 4-wheel steer eventually and have a couple of those servos, the DS servos, which are pretty cheap and hugely reliable. So that's about it for that. What do you reckon to that, guys?
Oh.
Okay, so I think we'll leave that there. Thanks again to the RCL for getting me this kit. It'll feature on various videos in the future. And thanks to Mark and Rob for helping out. Any final thoughts, guys?
That is rather rigid, Rob.
I'm not even going to get it all out.
It's quite a stiff one, that. I'm impressed. Oh, is that what, 110 mil or something like that?
It's something like that, isn't it?
That's quite a length, isn't it? That looks quite beefy.
It is.
It feels pretty stiff.
Fairly stiff.
Again, nice looking body. It was a bit of a surprise.
I quite liked it.
You're as bad as me.
I know.
Hard P. Wiley. Oh.
Yeah, okay, thanks, guys.
Time to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.